Ray Scratch Tutorials is back, and I'm going to be teaching something that is based off the first thing that we did. So, and if you remember in the last video, we coded a movement, which isn't incredibly complicated. It's just this chunk of stuff here. And now let's set our dude to the middle. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to get enemies to follow you. The beginning of a game. So, and everything in coding is very logical. So an enemy is going to be a new sprite. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint a new sprite. And using the art editor, which I'm going to teach you how to do later, there's all these tools you can use, and it's pretty simple. It's not like there's not like a bunch of special effects and stuff. So I always use vector, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to code a very simple circular enemy who's going to be gray, because gray is a very dark, well, gloomy color. He's going to be like this. Okay, we have our circle. Zoom in. Let's give him some eyes. And then let's give him black outlines on his eyes. Should be good. Okay, let's give him, I might be spending a little bit too much time on this. Let's give him an unhappy face and a mad expression. Okay, now we're gonna just give him some legs. Just give him some legs. Here. Oh, those are too big. Okay, no legs. They just look horrible. Okay, so we've created our enemy, and it took like 20 seconds. So now what do we do with it? Well, and now that your enemy, your player and your enemy are two separate sprites, and they each have their own code, and they can communicate with each other, and they can do other things, and those will be explained in later videos. But today we're just going to be teaching the enemy teaching you how to code the enemy to always be following you. So there's a very useful thing in motion called point towards. So what you need to do is in control, when green flag clicked, again forever, which is very useful, forever point towards sprite 1. So now he'll always be pointing towards you. So he'll always be like looking at me. You see how, so the only code that this enemy has is pointing towards the sprite. The sprite is moving, so the enemy is forever adjusting its position to be pointing towards me. So so once you have that, all you have to do is, instead of changing X and Y, we use steps, because steps is based on where the enemy's pointed. This is kind of confusing. This might be a little confusing. If I was to say forever point towards him, but then change X by 1, no matter where the sprite is, the enemy will always be moving to the right. So moving steps is based on where the enemy is pointed. So there you go. 3 blocks of code, and you have your enemy following you. And let's just make the enemy a bit slower. Let's make it like 2. So now I taught you how to get the player to move in the last video, and now an enemy can follow you, which is the basis sort of for a simple little game that you could make. So yeah, and this video was an incredibly simple block of code. All it is it's forever adjusting its a degree of angle towards you, and then it moves what Scratch calls as steps, but I call it sort of moving forward. So it just moves forward from wherever it's pointing, and yeah, so now it will track you. Find out how to get your enemy to sense when it's touching you and decrease your lives in the next video.